Join the HOA or else!
Imagine buying the perfect lakeside home. Quiet mornings, clean air, no rules, no board meetings, just peace. Then one day, a woman in a fake uniform pulls up your driveway, clipboard in one hand and arrogance in the other, demanding you join her HOA. And when you calmly refuse, she doesn't back off. She takes it personal. That's exactly what happened to Renee Porter, a single black mother who just wanted to raise her son in peace, until a power-hungry HOA president decided that no wasn't an option. What Patricia Hargrove didn't realize was that Renee wasn't just any homeowner. She was the last person you want to threaten over fake authority. When Renee Porter signed the papers for the cedar-trimmed cabin at the edge of Willow Ridge Lake, she thought she was finally buying silence. No patrol cars, no neighborhood committees, just a dock, a porch swing, and space for her 12-year-old son to breathe. Years in law enforcement had taught her that peace wasn't the absence of noise. It was the freedom to live without somebody pretending to be in charge. For the first 2 weeks, that peace held. Morning mist lifted off the lake, loons called across the water, and Renee sipped her coffee watching sunlight glitter on the ripples. She had chosen this property because it sat outside the gated section ruled by the so-called Willow Ridge Estates Association. Her deed made that clear. Her lot was independent, grandfathered long before the HOA existed. Then, on a bright Saturday, the illusion cracked. A golf cart dressed up like a police cruiser rolled up her gravel drive, yellow beacon flashing. At the wheel was Patricia Hargrove, a woman in her late 50s whose haircut looked as severe as her expression. A laminated badge swung from her vest and a clipboard rested against her hip like a weapon. Patricia didn't smile. New residents must register with the association, she declared, voice sharp enough to cut bark. $500 a year covers road upkeep, landscaping, and community security, which I oversee. Renee straightened slowly, wiping her hands on her jeans. Ma'am, I think you're mistaken. My property isn't part of any HOA. It's listed separately with the county. Patricia's eyes flicked over Renee's dark skin, the sheriff department mug on the porch rail, and the unspoken confidence in her tone. Something cold flashed across her face. Around here, everyone participates, she said, pressing the clipboard toward her. We don't make exceptions. Renee met her stare, calm but unyielding. Then you'll have to get used to one. The silence that followed carried more venom than words. Patricia's jaw tightened. We'll see about that, she hissed, climbing back into her cart. The tires spat gravel as she sped off, yellow light spinning like a warning flare. What would you do if a homeowners association president marched onto your property, demanding you join her fake community, and didn't take rejection lightly? Before we go further, what city or country are you watching from right now? Drop it in the comments. I love seeing where you're tuning in from. And if you believe that freedom means standing your ground, smash that like button and subscribe to Story Arc, because peace isn't granted by power, it's protected by courage. From the porch, Renee watched the dust settle and felt the first ripple of trouble disturb her lake-still peace. Somewhere deep down, she knew this woman wouldn't let it end there. By the next morning, Renee noticed a white envelope wedged under her wiper blade. The letterhead read Willow Ridge Estates Association in fancy blue ink. Inside was a notice of violation, claiming she'd used unapproved exterior materials, meaning the pine boards stacked near her shed for a planter box she hadn't even built yet. It demanded a $50 fine and ended with a neat handwritten threat. Failure to comply will double the penalty. Renee exhaled through her nose, folded the page in half, and set it in a folder marked Documentation. Old habits die hard. She had investigated fraud for years. Evidence was currency. Over the next week, more envelopes appeared like weeds. Improper waste placement, unauthorized dock activity. Every claim was absurd, each citing bylaws that didn't apply to her. She never responded. She just kept filing the papers away, page by page, while the yellow light golf cart became a constant presence on the road. Whenever Renee stepped outside, Patricia sat across from the driveway with sunglasses on and that clipboard resting on her lap, pretending to patrol. Her lips moved as if she were dictating crimes to herself. Sometimes she took pictures. Other times she simply stared, long, cold, deliberate. One afternoon, Renee's son, Caleb, asked, "Mom, why's that lady always watching us?" "She's confused," Renee answered, forcing a smile. and confusion looks a lot like courage when someone's scared of losing control. That evening, the sheriff inside her took over. She pulled the county's land records, tax rolls, and incorporation data. It took only minutes to confirm what she suspected. The Willow Ridge Estates Association's legal registration had expired nearly 2 years earlier. It didn't officially exist. Every fine, every demand, every dues payment Patricia had collected was under a dead organization's name. So this wasn't about community rules. It was about money and about power. Renee clicked her pen shut and leaned back in her chair. "You've crossed into fraud, lady," she murmured, "and you picked the wrong target." Outside, that fake patrol cart rolled past again, its beacon spinning across the darkening pines. Patricia couldn't see it, but a new camera now watched her from the eaves, quiet, patient, and always recording. Renee smiled faintly. The storm had declared itself. Now it was time to build the case. By the end of that month, Renee had compiled an entire binder of Patricia's nonsense, letters, photos, timestamps, and screenshots of the county database, proving the association was legally dead. She didn't need to confront Patricia directly. All she had to do was shine light on the rot. So she drafted a letter, not angry, not emotional, just precise. It stated the facts. The Willow Ridge Estates Association had no legal standing. Its corporate registration had lapsed, and anyone collecting dues or issuing fines under that name could face civil and criminal consequences. She mailed a copy to every homeowner around the lake using public tax records. Another copy went straight to Patricia's little post office box. The letters hit mailboxes on a Friday. By Saturday, the air felt different. Neighbors who once waved at Patricia started glancing away when she drove past. Conversations went quiet when her cart appeared. Renee watched from her porch as homeowners read the letter in their driveways, heads shaking, whispers spreading like wind through reeds. The Queen's throne was wobbling. By Sunday morning, Patricia's patrol routine looked less confident. The sunglasses hid her eyes, but the tension in her jaw told the story. She parked across from Renee's house for nearly an hour, engine idling, pen scratching furiously on that clipboard. Then she sped off, gravel spraying behind her wheels. Renee's phone buzzed with a text from a neighbor she barely knew. "Did you really find out the HOA isn't real?" "All public record," she replied. "Check the state business registry." That evening, she set her security camera feed to stream straight to her phone. Her son was inside playing guitar. The lake calm again for the first time in weeks, but the quiet felt thin, too still, like the pause before thunder. Around dusk, the sound of that golf cart engine returned. Only this time, it didn't stop at the road. Patricia swung into the yard, trampling through the corner of Renee's flower bed, clutching a crumpled copy of the letter. Her face burned crimson beneath the porch light. "You think you can embarrass me?" she screamed. "You'll regret crossing this community." Renee rose slowly from her chair, expression unreadable. "Patricia," she said evenly, "you need to leave my property." But Patricia wasn't listening anymore. She was unraveling, her voice shaking, her hands twitching at her belt. Something far worse was coming. Patricia's shouting rose over the hum of the lake, each word laced with venom. "You'll join this association whether you like it or not," she screeched, spittle catching the light. Her voice cracked into something wild, almost childlike, the kind that comes when power slips away. Renee stayed rooted at the bottom of her porch steps, calm and steady as granite. "You're trespassing, Miss Hargrove," she said quietly. "Step off my property before you make things worse." But Patricia had already made up her mind. With a jerky motion, she reached behind her vest and pulled out a black pistol. The world narrowed to that single moment. The weapon catching the sunset, Patricia's trembling hands, her fingers sliding far too close to the trigger. "Sign the papers," Patricia barked, waving the gun. "Right now. You're part of my community, understand?" From the doorway, Caleb froze, wide-eyed. Renee lifted one hand toward him. "Inside, now." He obeyed without a word. When she turned back, her demeanor shifted entirely. The gentle homeowner vanished. What stood there now was the sheriff, shoulders squared, voice deep, controlled, and cold. "Patricia Hargrove," she said evenly, "you are committing a felony. Lower your weapon and place it on the ground." Patricia blinked, disbelieving. "Don't you threaten me, you—" "I'm not threatening you," Renee interrupted. "I'm ordering you. I'm the sheriff of this county." For a beat, only wind and distant water filled the silence. Then a faint siren began to echo down the road. Caleb had already dialed 911. Patricia's eyes darted between Renee's badge glinting on her hip and the approaching blue lights reflecting off the trees. Her confidence collapsed into raw panic. I was just trying to. Drop it. The command landed like a hammer strike. Patricia's hand opened. The pistol hit the gravel with a hollow clatter just as two patrol SUVs screeched to a stop. Deputies spilled out, securing the weapon and cuffing her where she stood. As they led Patricia away, she stammered, "But I'm the president." "Not anymore," one deputy replied. Weeks later, the court banned her from any HOA position, fined her heavily, and sentenced her to community service. The false association dissolved, replaced by a transparent, peaceful neighborhood. If you believe no one has the right to tell you how to live on your own land, then hit that like button and subscribe to Story Arc, because peace doesn't come from rules. It comes from knowing where you stand.